And we're on, aren't we?
We are on live and direct.
Exacto mundo. Right,
Yep.
Devout. Man,
Oh,
these episodes are racking up, my friend. They are.
216, you know.
What's going on?
It was
Why are we
only meant
going?
to be
Where's the time
one.
going?
It was only meant to be one.
Seriously, this is mad.
Crazy.
Listen, by the way, I want to quickly ask you: did you go back and watch another? Did you go to another showing of Black Panther 2?
Yes, 3 times now.
And
So
what was
yeah,
it? Was it better or?
the second time was better. Third time was the same.
Okay, all right.
If that makes any sense, yeah.
Yeah. And do you reckon you'll watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus?
Yeah, I
Or
probably
are you
will.
done now?
Not in a rush, but I probably will watch it maybe one more time just to. Yeah, why not? But I'm not in a rush like other films. I'm not going to see it 10 times like Infinity War
Yeah.
or like Civil War or like,
Yeah. Because when that comes on TV, I'll watch it. I'll just sit through it, man.
when
You got
Winter
to watch
Soldier
those ones.
comes on, that boat scene. I say I'm stuck. From there, I'm stuck. I'm in. I'm in. The boat
Oh
scene.
shit, man.
You've got Cap's shield on your
There
shirt.
you go,
You
man.
know
There
all
you
about
go.
it.
Seriously,
Winter
I tell you,
Soldier is a
those
heavy
movies.
film.
Winter Soldier, man, is brilliant.
Mm.
Feel like watching it right now. All right, listen, look,
Mm.
folks. Thank you for downloading another episode. So you are listening to episode 216. Deval and I, we are going to be dropping movie news. We've got some streaming stuff that we want to speak about. We've obviously got a review, and let's see how we get on with the time, and then we can throw in the hidden gem. But let's do some shout outs, Deval.
Yep, some quick shout outs. First one goes out to our very own Ciel Noir 3. And we're always shouting her out because she is one of us. She is a Flixter. She loves her movies. Go check out her page on Instagram, Ciel Noir 3 with a C at the beginning. Very positive person, well-being, positivity, mental as well as physically as well. Go check her out and see what she's doing, and she'll always interact with you as well. So yeah, go check out Ciel Noir 3. She's going to watch Black Panther 3. No, she has watched it actually, she said, and she's going to listen to our previous podcast. So let us know what you think, Ciel Noir 3.
Because we do a lot of spoiling on that one.
We do a lot of spoiling. One quick shout out goes to the 5Fs. Telegram channel. Yeah, they broadcast our show every Wednesday.
That's so wicked. That's so
8 p.m.
cool.
UK time. And the last broadcast that happened, there was a lot of chatter going on. So yeah, go check out their page, the 5Fs Telegram channel. What do the 5Fs mean? Fun, family, faith, finance, and fitness. If it was up to me, there'd be another F in there, but that's for another day. So yeah, go check out that channel.
Go check it out. Yeah, really good. Yeah, thanks for that. All right, Devaldo, let's do this movie news because there's quite a few things on there that we want to speak about. All right, we've already spoken about Avatar. We know that is coming out. That's going to be the next big movie, next month. So December the 16th. We're actually less than a month away now. And what are we looking at? Because James Cameron, he makes long movies, and you just need to go back and think about Titanic. That was like about 3 hours, maybe even more. I think there's a director's cut of that somewhere, isn't there? I'm pretty sure. The first Avatar was a long movie with Deval. It was, it didn't drag. For me, I never felt that it dragged, but it was like, it's a long movie.
Long movie.
Yeah. So what are we saying about the Avatar Way of the Water?
This is going to be longer. It's going to be longer. It is rumored to be clocking in at 192 minutes.
Man.
That's 3 hours and 12 minutes. And just obviously that includes the credits. So maybe the credits might take 10 minutes. So you're going to see a 3-hour film.
3 hours, yeah.
If reports are true, a 3-hour film. So so figure out a toilet break or don't drink too much, because it's already weighing the water, so we know water's going to flow. And James Cameron on that, James Cameron loves his water. You got Abyss, you got Titanic, you got Way of the Water. My man loves water. You know what I mean?
But listen, Deval, he's got 3 hours. All right, so obviously James Cameron, he can pretty much make any movie he wants to make, right?
Yeah.
But what has he got to say in 3 hours that he can't do? Like, this guy, like brevity is like, you know, and I get it. You know, we want to get our money's worth, and a 4D, a 3D ticket. How much do you reckon that's going to go down for?
It's going to be, yeah. And you know
It's
what? I
going to be
think people,
expensive, right?
I'm going to watch it in 4D. I'm watching that in
Oh
4D
man,
because I want
you're
to feel the
lucky.
water splash on me. And actually, you know what? Yeah, you've given me an idea. This is going to be a 4D viewing.
It has,
But
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
this is going to break box office, I reckon. I think the fact that it's going to be 3D and people are all waiting to see it, I
Mm,
think this will break box office records again.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So, so do you reckon this will do more than Avengers
Endgame. Do you know
Endgame?
what it could do? You know, but
Yeah.
also the thing you got to factor in post-pandemic sentiment. People
Yeah.
might not be as willing to go to a packed cinema, so that's the only thing that could, maybe
Like derail
reduce
things.
the
Yeah.
numbers. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. It'll be interesting. Be interesting.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, listen. Look, Deval and I. We're definitely going to be watching that, and so just keep it locked with the Flixters, and we'll let you know about that movie. All right. Let's do this now. Oh my gosh, this franchise, Devaldo, and I'm pretty sure we spoke. I had a conversation with someone about kind of the Saw movies, and now this is kind of coming up in our movie news. So. Here's the thing. The news isn't the fact that they're making a Saw movie, because that's probably a given. But Tobin Bell, how can he be back? And the only way I'm thinking about it is if they do like a flashback, or
Crazy.
what? Or is it his twin brother?
All I can say is, that's going to be the voice. Do you want to play a game? For too long, you have been making Saw films, and now you make number 10.
Good. While you're doing that, while you're telling us about that, go on. I want to have a look at it to see how old he is. Go on. You go and tell us about Tobin Bell.
Okay, so Tobin Bell, yeah. So you know what? This is Saw number 10. Yeah, Tobin Bell, the Saw man, the one that had the inoperable brain tumor that we saw in part 1.
Yeah.
He died. I believe it was in Saw part 3, or was it Saw 4? I can't remember. One of them, 3 or 4
Yeah.
years ago. So any involvement he has past Saw 4 or 5 means that this is something that he planned before his death. There's
Yeah.
this on-set photo of him, Tobin Bell, Mr. Saw, sitting down on a bench with a little boy, and I don't know, they're talking. I don't know what's going on, but how is this happening? That's the mother of all flashbacks, trust me.
And you're talking about an actor. Listen, let's get this right. You're talking about an actor who was born
1940 something, yeah?
Yeah, 1942.
Serious.
This 1942, this guy. So he was born during World War II. So so this guy is coming back for another Saw movie. He's 8 years old, which is great. I love the fact that the older working and whatnot. But what is he going to be doing? Like what? He recorded his voice and he's doing a podcast or something. Like who
Man,
knows?
he's the world's best organizer. He's been organizing shit from years ago. He's been laying traps for time. Laying them traps, and they're clever traps.
Oh my god!
Clever traps.
Just don't do. I mean, and do you reckon? Like did we ever hear about any copycat killings, or do you reckon there's someone in real life is actually thinking,
No,
I'd
but
love
that
to do a
happened.
Saw?
That happened though. In real life. Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
question. Because you've got to be really organized. Because now, I mean, there's no tape. First of all, you've got to send it by video, by audio file. Because with Saw, you press a tape. But I know in the movie there was a copycat one time, or a couple of times in Saw.
Yeah, it was the one.
Yeah.
Remember? And hang on a second. In the last one that we saw, he was a copycat.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
One with Chris Rock.
Yeah.
He was a copycat killer, wasn't he?
That was a shit one. Do you know what? I forgot about that one. I forgot. I literally forgot about that one.
I know. So listen, folks. Fans of Saw. Just be prepared. There'll be another Saw movie, and Tobin Bell's going to be there. So we'll see what happens. All right. Okay. Let's speak about Chris Hemsworth and why he's in our movie news. Deval, go on, let us know.
Yeah, so he's done a documentary type thing on Limitless. It's called Limitless on Disney Plus, and he's a really robust man, is what I can say. You know, you see just from his physicality and his physical strength, mental strength.
Yeah.
Limitless is where he tests his body and mind and soul to all kinds of things, and they document it. It's one of those really intimate kinds of documentaries. But he said that during the making of Limitless, he discovered that he is predisposed to Alzheimer's or Alzheimer. I can never pronounce it correctly, but you
Yeah.
know, Alzheimer.
Yeah. Alzheimer's disease. Yeah.
Is it a brain
Yeah. It's a
brain decaying disease
degenerative
or something?
brain yeah disease basically in the brain.
That's the
So
one.
what? So he's
Yeah. He has a predisposition to it. So he's saying that basically, after finding this out, he's like he's realizing what's important in life. He's going to take a couple steps back from acting. Going to take a little bit of a time out, a little bit of a break, and just regather himself and understand a bit more about what's going on, and not really, you know, because with actors and people like him, who's at the top of his game, you know, they're always in demand. So he just wants to make sure that he knows, you know, his mental state in the best possible way before moving forward and, you know, adding to their workload. So yeah, he's going to take a bit of a time out. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but that's what he says, which I think is a really good idea.
I
That's
think
where
it
you
is.
know someone is really sensible and they are listening to their body, and you know it's not all about the money, because you know at the end of the day we're all humans and you can't take it with you. So
There you go. There
you know he's
you
got
go. You
kids
can't
and
take
stuff
it
like
with you.
that. Yeah, exactly. So he's
Yeah.
doing the right thing.
We can't take it. Yeah, you can't take it with you. Can I have your ledger, by the way? Then is I'm taking.
Nope. I'm taking that shit with me. I'll be like in my coffin, pressing the two buttons to authorize.
Oh shit! So let's just basically let everyone know. So that was the kind of that's an inside crypto joke that you know. It's hard to explain it. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that joke because you wouldn't have got this one if you're listening, listener.
It's all right. Off the menu.
Exactly. All right, listen, Devour, let's do this one. All right. So, you know, we kind of had we had like a good 3 or 4 different movies that we watched. You know, horror movies, and for me anyway, I felt like as if the movies that I did watch, the quality of them, they were kind of getting better and better. Like, you know, I saw Smile, obviously saw that one.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't even
yeah,
remember the
yeah.
other one that I just saw, but it was a good one. Barbarian, that was it. And I
Barbarian,
watched
yeah.
this kind of Scandinavian movie as well, which wasn't kind of like
Lamb?
an out and out. Which one?
Was it Lamb or something else?
There was Lamb. I saw that. No, there was one where it was kind of like a home invasion where this family they get befriended on holiday.
On Paramount, you mentioned
That was
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know they're out there. But check this out. For me, anyway, this is for me. I'm not sure about you, Deval. I'm not sure about you, listener. But The Exorcist is up there as one of those movies which is like, when it comes on TV or if it's there, I'm like, oh shit, do I really want to watch this? Do I really watch this? Because there's some things in there which are quite nasty. But check this out. They're doing a reboot, and Leslie Odom Jr., Devaldo, is the star of the movie. So I didn't even know this was a thing. He was being interviewed because you know, he's talking about you know, a movie, and then they said to him, oh, so to let us know, you know, how's it going with the new Exorcist reboot? He said it's going great. We just started filming. He goes, but he was actually saying that it's he said that he's seen a lot of horror movies, but he's actually really scared about this one. So it's actually bringing him the chills whilst he's making the movie, and it's coming out next year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, hopefully if they make it right, you know, they don't need to. The thing is, when people are making remakes or, you know, sort of similar tellings, reboots of other great films, I don't think they should try to make it better. Try to make it different and special within itself. That's enough, because people experienced The Exorcist in 1973. It was a different time. You know, people was vomiting in the cinema and all kinds of shit. Now you get all that kind of shit on blimmin' Instagram and TikTok. Like, it's now you get shit all the time. It's a different time. People are less sensitive to that. So you got to adapt with the times, you know. But I'm sure this is going to be a good remake. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So it's set to appear in cinemas October the 13th, 2023.
Oh,
but here's the other thing. It's going to have Ellen Burstyn back in the movie. So she's the mum.
Oh,
in the original, do you remember the
Reagan.
mum of
Reagan.
Regan?
Yeah.
So the mum of Reagan.
Reagan.
Oh, God, mate, don't do
Yeah.
that voice. Don't do that voice. That's creepy as hell. And William Friedkin is going to be kind of like executive producer. So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring in the old blood. I mean, the really, really old blood, because they. I mean, she's probably going to be about 90. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it as well.
That's the only genre of horror that really scares me, because something tells me that in the world that we live in, some of the things that people do in this world, I think possession is probably one of the only like non-scientific explanations for it, because it's just crazy what some people do in this world. They have to be possessed.
Yeah.
But
how many times have we heard where some people have said, "Oh, I heard someone telling me do it."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then you can't prove it, so it just becomes, what do they call it? Psychosis or whatever, But I'm telling you, man, I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm scared. I'm scared.
Seriously,
I'm scared.
Let's move on.
Move
Let's
on,
move on to this. This out. So apparently DC, and remember folks, we recently spoke about this, James Gunn, and I can't remember the other dude's name. He's actually going to be heading DC, what happens to the DC universe for the next 5-6 years, possibly even 10 years. And Superman is one of the kind of characters that he wants to kind of work on. And check this out, apparently the rumor is that Man of Steel 2, Devalda, is going to be a reboot of sorts, and Henry Cavill obviously is going to be playing Superman, but they're going to be doing an origin changing. How is that going to work?
I don't know.
So, so the Man of Steel 2 will not be a proper sequel, but will be treated as a reboot, it's going to be a different version of Superman, the one that we've already seen from the Zack Snyder verse. And here's the crucial thing. Apparently James Gunn, or the people who are going to run this thing, they weren't too keen on the fact that Superman killed General
Zod.
Yeah. I actually didn't mind that bit. I actually didn't mind it. It was different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But so they're saying that he was too dark. So Zack Snyder was too dark, and maybe they're now going to be taking it into a different direction. And he's not doing The Witcher anymore.
Yeah, so he's freed up now. Oh my gosh! This reminds me of a situation that's happening now in the real world. Right now, DC are acting like Manchester United, and they're treating Superman like Cristiano Ronaldo. Because they're not giving him the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
And these superheroes, Superman, Batman. Ask your mum and dad, they know Superman and Batman.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think Superman is just being messed around, man. He's gonna fly off and just go to Marvel or something.
And look at how hurt. Listen, how hurt was Cristiano Ronaldo to do an interview with Piers Morgan? I mean, you would have to be so messed up, right, to want to do an interview with him. Like, of all people, why him? And then Superman, oh my gosh, maybe he finds another, I don't know, is there another planet that he can go off to? But I don't know, man.
Marvel, just appear.
But are you excited? All right, here's the question, though. I'm asking you and I'm asking our listener is, are you excited about another Superman movie? Like, what can they show us different?
Yeah, I do because I do think Henry Cavill done a good job. Yeah, every time he showed up, he has done a good job. And I do like Superman. I do think he needs to be tested more in the movies. He seems to be... Yeah. Obviously, he's very powerful, and the enemies that he's faced, apart from Superman 1, he was challenged, yes. But in Justice League, he just sort of came and saved the day and then went about his business. So he does need some sort of real challenge, which I think maybe James Gunn and his team can maybe get that to happen on screen. But with James Gunn being involved, it's going to be wacky. It's going to be something.
I know.
Man's going to bust enough jokes. I don't know, man.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure there's other DC characters out there, right? So the ones who are kind of right at the back that we don't know about, that he might bring forward, like the weird ones, the wacky ones, like Peacemaker. Who would ever thought Peacemaker was going to be like so good? So we'll see what happens there. All right, we're going to end news on a bit of a sad note. But also happy in the sense that we kind of got this person, to portray. You mentioned Batman. So the passing of Kevin Conroy, he was actually the voice of Batman. Was he? Yeah, he was the voice of Batman, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
voice of Batman
Yeah,
for years. I
for
think
years.
I'd say 30 years. I think something along those
Wow.
lines, or maybe 25 years. It was a long time, and some of the best Batman
Yeah.
animated, The
Mm,
Killing Joke,
big time.
uh, the Batman Returns, like even computer games as well. He's done some really, really good work. He also showed up in a live action depiction of
Of
Batman,
Batman in what was it? The Crisis on
Crisis on Infinite Earths or something,
yeah, he
one of
did
the
it.
spin-offs on the CW. So he actually got his dream of being Batman in the flesh. But yeah, a lot of people, when they rate Batman, a lot of the really serious cats out there, when they rate their best Batman, Kevin Conroy is up there. The same way when people rate their best Joker,
Mm.
Mark Hamill is up there as
Mark
well.
Hamill.
Yeah, so
Absolutely, man.
yeah, so yeah, he's obviously sad he wasn't even too old. He was 60 odd, 66 years
Oh
old.
shit.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't too old at all. So, it was cancer that took him. So yeah,
Damn.
it's sad to see. But he did it. Hopefully, he did enjoy his life and gave joy to lots of people as well.
Huge,
So
huge,
mm.
huge, huge, huge. Well, there you go. R.I.P. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. All right, Devaldo. We must move on. Let's get on to new on streaming. Okay, so Deval, tell me, have you caught up?
Yes, I have caught up with Andor, and
And
Andor is good. All I
certified
can say
fresh?
is
Yeah, or nay?
there's one way out, one way out, one way out, one way out, one way out. It reminded me of Evil Dies Tonight.
Dies tonight.
Evil
Evil
Dies
dies
Tonight.
tonight. That's
Evil Dies
exactly what it
Tonight.
reminds me of. Oh my
Evil
gosh.
Dies Tonight.
What about what's his name? Smeagol.
Andy Serkis, man,
Andy
he's got us.
Serkis.
He didn't learn to swim in school. You got to swim.
So he was like, I
Imagine
can't
that.
swim. I can't swim. And he said, right at the end, I can't swim. And then it just ends. So basically, he
And
never
we,
made it. He doesn't
oh, no,
make it
but
off.
we don't know. They didn't show it. I reckon he
Yeah, that's
survived.
true. Yeah.
He had to survive. I mean, that was such a big, strong character, like leader. When he wants to, he wants to escape, and they're running down this tunnel, running, and they get to the edge, and there's water, and he's like, I can't swim, and that's it, mate. That's it. Everyone else is jumping off,
Everyone's
coming,
just flying off.
escaping.
Everyone's just flying off. But what did
That was
you? So
funny.
those last kind of like 3 or 4 episodes, like the
Yeah,
shift, the shift from kind of like it being, I don't know,
like
like
espionage and like the spies and the
yeah,
rebels and the empire. It was 2 different shows. It changed from
big
that
time.
to Prison Break in space. Like,
Exactly. And I
it was
thought, man, this
decent.
is so left field. It's just
Mm,
kind of like, and it's like I go, it's what you said. Like when they don't have like a Jedi, when there's no lightsabers,
yeah,
somehow they're doing something really good. So
yeah.
they don't have the weight of all of that stuff. So the news here is that obviously they're going to be doing a season 2.
It's not
And then
finished
that
now. There's still 2 more episodes. No, one more
what?
episode. Episode 12, isn't it? Isn't the last one episode 12? Or was that it?
Hang on a second. So that wasn't the last episode.
No, there's one more. There's one more.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
my
there's
head's
one more.
blown.
Yeah, there's one more. Episode 12. I'm pretty sure.
Because
Episode 12 is the last.
Because when I saw
Mm,
the ending, I thought that's it. Like,
mm.
they're out.
No, 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 no. Nah. Let me double
12
check right now.
episodes.
Let me just double check. I don't want to give the wrong
Please,
information.
please do, man. If
The
that's the
wrong
case.
information. Let us see this. Yeah, episode 12 will air on the
Oh,
23rd
man.
of November. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right. Well, there you go then. All right. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's what we're going to be watching.
yeah.
But yeah, so folks, if you haven't kind of seen Andor, trust me, yeah, obviously it's sci-fi. And if you're not a fan of sci-fi, then you're going to be like, oh, I don't really like it. But there's so much in there. It's not just, yeah, it's kind of like, it is dramatic. It is kind of like, action, a bit of action. And just like Deval said, like spy, espionage, it's
Mm,
thriller. It's kind of all those things all rolled into one in the Star Wars universe,
mhm.
but not what you're used to. So if you can kind of get my drift, so that's definitely worth watching. Now, Deval, Peripheral, have you watched anything of that?
I've watched the first 2 episodes. That's
What
where
did you
I'm at
think?
the
What did you
moment.
make of it?
I like it. I'm liking it so far.
Yeah.
It's very, it's open. It's like a bit, it's weird in a good way, and it's
Mm.
very, very sci-fi. It feels like a bit of the Matrix. It feels like, do I want to say Lawnmower Man? It just feels like you
Yeah,
go
it
into
does.
a new world, like just by putting a thing on your head, like it's like VR 2000.
Mm.
It's just another world. And so far, the main character, Chloe Grace Moretz, she seems a bit lost, but at the same
Yeah.
time, she's good at. She's basically a gamer. They've asked him they've asked her brother to actually trial a new headset, a new VR headset, and this VR headset is giving her more than she's bargained for, and it's actually turning into real world as well. Like you said, it's set in timelines, 2020, 2099 and 2032, which
Yeah.
isn't too far away. So it's
10
good
years away,
seeing
mate.
the 2032. The environment looks like today, but then the
Yeah.
tech is a bit advanced. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's an interesting show on
It is.
Amazon Prime. It's
Yeah.
really worth watching.
I think it's worth watching. I think I'm on episode number like 3 or 4 or whatever. So yeah,
Okay.
you delve more into kind of like this world building type of thing. So new
Yeah.
characters, new enemies, and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's definitely on there. Right, new trailers. Devout the Eternal Daughter. Now, is this sci-fi? Is this fantasy? Or is this horror?
This is drama, mystery. I don't know if it's stone cold horror,
Mm.
but it does sort of remind. Basically, it's got Tilda Swinton. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tilda Swinton's in this,
she does
and
crazy stuff.
she's good.
Mm.
Tilda Swinton is set in England, and it's a bit of a ghost story. It's a bit of a
Mm.
sort of old school English, not old school. I think it's set in kind of modern times, but the environment and the landscape is like in an old school house. And it's Tilda Swinton and Tilda Swinton.
Oh
So
shit,
she
it's one of
she
them ones.
plays the daughter and the mother, and they're both
Oh.
in this house together, and it's a bit spooky. It's
Mm.
a bit spooky. That's all I can say. And she's playing these two roles like she can do, from what I've seen in the trailer, quite well.
Yeah.
But I don't think is these are the sorts of films I like to see. Do you know why? Because so far, what I've explained to you, you can't even get much from it. But like from the trailer, it's like it doesn't give you too much, but it gives you
Yeah.
enough to make you want to watch it. And
Yeah.
that for me is a sign of a good trailer. I
Good
can't tell
trailer.
you what it's fully about. All I know is it's
Yeah.
spooky. It's got two people playing the same. One person's playing the same two people, and it's weird. That's
Yeah.
enough.
No, it's so true. Yeah, we'll definitely put that on the watch list. Sorry, you know what? I just realized there's a couple of shows Devout that you and I we haven't really we probably know about
Mm.
them, but we haven't kind of I haven't given the time to it. But Guillermo del Toro, he's got something out on Netflix which I've heard some good stuff about,
Yes,
and
curiosity of something,
of yeah. So
horrors
that
or
was one
something like
thing,
that. Yeah,
and the
yeah.
other thing was that just dropped on recently was 1899.
Do you know what? I was gonna save it till next week. That I started watching it last night,
Is
but
it?
the Odin sleep got me. Yeah, that
The
looks
Odin Sleep.
like a
Okay.
decent show on
Because
Netflix.
it's
You're
from
right.
the guys. It's from the makers of Dark.
Yes, 1899 looks
Yeah,
decent,
I
and
know.
people are
So
talking about it. By next week, I'll have an update for you. I'm
mm,
watching it.
mm,
I'm watching it during the week,
defo, defo.
as well as the World Cup.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah, yeah. We'll definitely do that. All right, let's do anniversary corner now. Let's go back 10 years to 2012. This is actually a really decent movie, Zero Dark 30, and I think Catherine Bigelow. I think she's the director of the movie, and she won the Oscar for this. I think, if I'm
I
not
believe
mistaken,
so. I believe she did.
or was that
Yeah.
The Hurt Locker?
Oh, she won for Hurt Locker, but she might have won something for this as well. I can't remember.
Mm,
But yeah, she's good at her war stuff, isn't it?
man,
Catherine Bit.
it won the Academy Award for editing, Golden Globe.
Okay.
Oh, Best Actress. It won Best Actress.
Is
So
it
Jessica Chastain, she won.
serious? Okay.
But here it's got, so like I said, like Jessica Chastain. It's got Jason Clarke, Joel Edgerton, Chris Pratt. I remember him.
Mm,
Yeah, he was in this in the beginning.
hmm Yep.
The hunt for one of the most wanted man in the history of the United States of America, Osama bin Laden.
Hmm.
And you know, when you think about that, where you just think about the hunt for the most wanted man in the history of, like, you know, America, you just think, shit, this is going to be intriguing. This is
Mm.
going to be some spy shit. This is going to be some kind of, like, you know, what do they call it? Rendition. You know, when they, like, you know,
Oh
they
yeah,
take you know, they basically
yeah.
taking people and, like, you know, stuff.
Waterboarding and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know what?
Mm,
That was the controversy around this movie, wasn't it? It was like, uh, you know,
mm.
about showing, you know, them depicting of what they did to get the
Yeah, yeah,
information.
mm,
And you can imagine, man, what they did.
yeah.
Even stuff that we probably didn't see in the movie.
Not if, yeah, for sure, 100% for sure.
Mad,
Everyone,
isn't it?
all governments are doing it, but
Oh yeah,
Americans do it. But they talk on other governments that do it. But everyone does it. Everyone
mm,
does it. They have to do it.
yeah. That one that is quite really annoying is the one where they blast heavy metal music.
Oh, when they keep you awake
Yeah.
in a
So
bright
basically,
room and you're hanging like that in a
yeah,
bright room.
and they just
Yeah,
and they're just
yeah,
blaring like
yeah,
heavy metal music, and it
yeah,
just
yeah,
messes up your
yeah,
senses, like
yeah,
everything, man.
yeah, yeah.
Jesus,
Constantly, but
it's
yeah.
the worst.
Yeah, Zero Dark 30. That's a gritty film, and also the gunplay is really good in it as well. Like
Mm,
the way they shoot in, the sound. That's
yeah,
probably why it won for editing. I mean, it's a good film to watch, but at the same time, we live in very political times these days, and I think there's going to be a shelf life for these sorts of films at some
mm,
stage because the enemy is always depicted to be a certain people, a certain demographic, and so on. And I think over time, people are becoming a bit more aware or being more sensitive to who the enemy is perceived and who they're perceived by. And yeah, but I mean, just take politics aside from it. It's a good film. It's a good
yeah,
film.
yeah.
Mm.
It is. It is. Um, and this leads us nicely to kind of the main movie that we're going to be speaking about, because from one war, you know, this kind of war on, remember in America it was like the war on terrorism, like, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
we're gonna combat terrorism, you know, whatever form that is. And obviously they sometimes we don't know who's behind it, and could be, like, you know, wherever. So from that war to this war, which is the first world war, the Great War, to a movie called It's All Quiet on the Western Front. And this
mm.
dropped on Netflix very recently. And yeah, so I kind of read about this. You mentioned it before as well, and there was kind of like a lot of you know, buzz around the movie. So yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch this, but Deval has seen it. So Deval is going to give a breakdown of the movie and let us know what his thoughts are. So yeah, Deval, take it away.
Yeah, so this is a German film,
Mm,
and you've set it up quite nicely. This is the Great War, as they say, because it was the first sort of big war with like Europe and stuff like that, and all the West. This started in I want to say 1917.
mm.
Was it 1917? It started. I want to say that I could be a little bit wrong, but yeah, it was
14,
19. Was it 1914?
yeah, to 1919, I think. I
That's
think.
the one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's around sort of the mid 1910s to the end of 1910s, just before 1920. And yeah, this is the World War One basically, and this is, like I mentioned, the German film, which is actually quite different because a lot of the war films that we see, who is it always making them? It's usually the British or the
The
Americans.
Yanks,
And
yeah.
obviously, they're the goodies in the war, and they're the ones that go to Europe and they fight in the Germans and all that kind of thing. And this is a different lens. This is the Germans making a film about the very war that they're in, that they obviously lost, or they
Mm,
were, maybe forced to retreat. And it's a very different, like you, because war, we won't know war like people have known in the past.
no.
When we see or hear war, we're hearing it on TV from our armchairs. We can pause the news, go to the shop, come back, and look at what's going on. This is the real shit. This was back
Yeah.
in the day. This was when, when young people were drafted. All the young people in this film were drafted when they were in their teens.
Mm,
Like there's a moment in the beginning of the film where the young men are getting drafted and they're reading out their date of births. Their date of birth is 1899, 1900, because obviously they're going into war at like 16, 17 years old,
Mm.
young people. And this really follows the story of four young people, and they are they sort of meet up while they're being drafted, and they form a relationship, and it kind of follows their story in this environment of war, and it is so gritty. When I
Mm.
tell you some of the yeah, do you remember in Wonder Woman 1,
Yeah.
first Wonder Woman, you know
Yeah.
that scene where, because in that it's also set in the same time period.
Yeah.
So when I was watching this, I was thinking, oh shit, where's Wonder Woman? She should be coming. I didn't see her. But there's a scene in Wonder Woman where
Yeah.
she's, remember that no man's land part?
Yes.
This
And
is in
she
real
just
life
goes
as well.
over. Yeah.
This is in real life. There's a big sort of field or big area where the Germans on one side and then the Allied forces, like the French or whoever, are on the other side. And in the middle, like no one can cross.
Mm.
And in this film, they really show how they try and get across, and it is gritty.
Brutal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
like the bullet wounds, the bombs, the limbs getting lost. There was a scene in this. It was so quick, but it was gruesome. Like
Yeah.
there's a scene where this person, they're in the trenches, and
Mm.
they're trying to defend the trenches, and they get overrun by these tanks that come through,
Mm.
and then his friends gets run over by a tank,
Oh,
and it's not a pretty sight at all.
no
It's
way.
just his body like progressively gets flattened into
Oh,
his head, and you just see it happen. You realize
I
what the
just
body
pictured
is
it.
made. The body is made of flesh and meat and bones, and you literally
Oh,
see it getting flattened. It's disgusting.
splattered out.
And there's scenes where you see flamethrowers and people are getting lit up, the
Mm.
screaming, the bullets. It is
Nasty. Yeah.
war. But all aside from that, this film is 2.5 hours long. It's not all about that. The
Mm.
main cut and thrust, the main thing that pulls you in is the relationships, is the story of these four young boys, as well as other people, but these four young boys who are trying to traverse the battlefield and still be young boys and be friends. And you get to see little defeats, little victories, and the little things that they really appreciate in war, like
Mm.
food, like the scraps that they have to eat. Sometimes they'll go out and they'll find a, because they're kind of near the French border. They'll try and steal chickens from a French farm, and when they
Mm.
get back, the joy, because they're eating the chicken.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
joy! Oh my gosh, the
Oh
joy!
man.
It's all the little things, all the little sort of emotional moments. That is what makes this film.
Yeah.
They go and sort of fight in this town, this French town, and before they leave, the boy sees a poster on the wall, and the poster is of a film, and the film's got this actress on there, and he stops. He's never spoken to a girl before, and he speaks to her like it's a real person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
before he leaves, he cuts a bit of that poster with just her in it and takes it, because it's like he's not seen a girl in years, and he doesn't know how to talk to a girl. This is now his girlfriend. So you get
Great
to see all these
moment.
emotional sort of things that happen that make you realize, yes, war is war, but
Mm.
it's people in that war, young people as well that haven't lived life.
Yeah.
Lots of these people they've not lived life. It's crazy.
And you know what? It's so interesting the fact that you mentioned it. So we're looking at it from the other side.
Yeah.
So I can't even remember a movie where I'm looking at it from. Obviously we're taught about obviously Germany and the Nazis and everything, the enemies, but
Mm,
we haven't seen a depiction where we might sympathize like that. What you
yeah.
just said,
Mm,
taking down the picture and something like that. That's like something that maybe that we would do, or like
yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, yeah, that's
And
powerful. That is
you
really good.
also see, just like I said, you also see how they're sold the dream of war, and why they're fighting, and why they choose
Mm,
such young people, because they're impressionable. They're told it's for the motherland. They're told
yeah,
that the enemies come to this and that. And obviously, it's true. If they don't fight, they're going to lose. And that's where I think both sides are to blame, because everyone's killing everyone. But it's like a
yeah,
lot of these people are reluctant soldiers. They feel they have to go to battle because they have to serve their country.
yeah.
They have to make their father proud. They've got a girl back home who they want to
Mm,
impress. There's all these reasons they go into war, but they're really reluctant soldiers. A lot of
Yeah.
these young people, and yeah, it's just, and also you see the disparity between the soldiers and how they live, what they do, and also you see the generals. They always make sure when they're filming this, the gritty is gritty, and then the
Yeah.
generals, oh, they're in luxury. They'll
Oh,
go from a scene
lavish.
where they're in the mud and they're all dirty and they're all bloody, and then the generals are making decisions on what they need to do,
Yeah.
and the generals are chilling with their tea, their sort of nice cups. They're going. One time he's like, "Oh, were these cakes baked today?" And the guy said, "No, sir, they weren't." And he was like, "It's like these other people are fighting for food, and this guy's
It's
complaining
just
about the
like,
fact that the cake wasn't baked
was it
today."
like hot enough or something? Oh
Yeah, and
my
it's the
gosh.
decisions they make. Like there's a moment in the film where they really need to. Also, Daniel Brawl is in this. He's probably the most recognizable person in this.
Oh, okay.
Daniel Brawl. He's the only recognizable
Baron.
person for Baron Zemo, and he was
Yeah,
in Inglorious Bastards and other
that's
stuff.
it.
But he's probably the most recognizable person. But everyone else is wicked actors, and I
Yeah.
reckon they'll get more sort of maybe English roles after this. But either way, he's part of the sort of generals, and he's on the nice side of things. He's trying to forge a alliance, not alliance, like a ceasefire, and that's where
Oh, okay.
Armistead. How you say it again?
Armistice.
Armistice. Armistice. Yeah, armistice is what's sort of created from this, which he actually helps to create or to agree. But it's just the disparity is crazy, man. And there's a moment where they should surrender. It's signed to surrender, and not to surrender, to armistice, to
Yeah,
ceasefire. It's signed by
but they
both
don't.
parties. The French are reluctant, but they sign it. The Germans are reluctant, they sign it. But there's a moment in between where the general is too stubborn, and he tells all of them, "Go and fight. This is a last chance. We can go and take them." He knows they're going to lose, but just for pride, he says to them, "Go and fight." And
Bastards.
and even though he knows armistice is happening in a few hours,
Yeah.
and people they're dying in the
They left.
thousands, it's
Yeah.
mad. But do you
Yeah.
know what? This it's a good film.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch it,
It's a
man.
good film. It's
You've
a good
sold
war
it.
film. It's
I'm
a good
gonna watch
film
it.
on Netflix. Yeah,
And it's on Netflix, so it's not like as if you got to go like very
yeah.
far to watch it.
It's German, but it's an English dub as well. So I think it's really worth. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good. Go watch it. Go watch it. That's
yeah,
all I'm gonna
defo,
say.
man. Yeah, it's
Mm,
sold. It's sold on me on that
yeah.
one. So go check that out, folks. It's All Quiet on the Western Front, and you can find that on Netflix. Now, Devout, do we have time for hidden gems?
I'll quickly do this one, just real
Yeah,
quick.
because
I'll make it
I've
a
seen this
real.
as well. Yeah, we can both speak
You
about this
seen it?
one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
this is Pearl. So this is Pearl. This is a horror film. A24, I think.
Yeah, it is. I was surprised it was
A
A24.
A24, and this is also set in 1918. So,
Mm.
early 1900s we're doing here, and this is starring Mia Goth, who we saw her recently in
In
X, which
X.
is A24,
Yep.
Suspiria. She's been in that,
Yep.
as well as a bunch of other films. She's also a model, Brazilian, I think, birth or American.
Yeah.
But she also co-wrote this along with Ty West. Co-wrote, co-produced. She's had massive influence in this film, and she's starring in it. And this is a really weird film.
She's from England as well.
Yeah, she's English. She's got all kinds. She's diverse.
Yeah.
United Nations. But this is
But
a
you're right.
really,
It's weird.
really weird film. I'll just quickly do my quick say on it, and then I'll hand it to yourself. But first of all, this is a story of a young girl, I think, with issues. In 1918, we didn't have the mental health awareness that we have now. This girl has issues. The issues, socially, her family life. There's issues there that compound her mental health issues,
Yeah.
and even the way this is filmed. It's filmed in sometimes a bit of a dreamy way. It's like I don't know. It's filmed in a how do I say it? It's like
It's so
like
true. No, go on. Keep
it
going.
reminds me a little bit of One Division. There's certain bits in One Division where things
Yes.
are dreamy, almost like a musical, like life is good, like da 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 kind of
Mm.
thing. And she kind of sees that in her mind. Some of the things that she's doing in real life is nasty, is bad, but in her
Yeah.
mind she's seen something else, which goes back to the mental health issues.
Yep.
But this is a film about a young woman who family is a bit of a mess. She has expectations to be a farm
German as
girl.
well.
Yeah, again, German. Yeah, yeah, exactly. the expectations that she's on a farm with her family. She does all these farm duties. She stays home and listens, but she wants to break out. She wants to do other stuff. She wants to be an actress, and it's just not going to work out. And she does everything she can to make that dream possible. I don't know, man. What do you reckon, man?
You know what? Absolutely, I totally agree. Absolutely weird. And look, let's put this into kind of a bit of a perspective. So so we've got Pearl. This is kind of like a prequel. Yeah, it's kind of like a prequel to X.
Okay.
So Mia Goth she's the one from X.
Yeah, which is a horror film set in a sort of barn in America.
Yeah, and that's the same barn.
It's the same barn.
That's the same barn. It's her. It's her. So Pearl is the Pearl from this movie is the Pearl from the old mum, the old mother from X. The old lady.
No.
Yes.
Pearl is the old lady.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. Please.
I just had a soul moment.
Just watch this on YouTube. Watch this on YouTube.
Oh my god.
Like, seriously.
That is wicked. Do you know what?
Yes.
I didn't realize that. But it makes so much sense.
Yeah. So this is kind of like the prequel. And then when I was reading up on this, so the director Fred, is it? No, it's not Fred West, is it? It's Ty West. He's going to make the third part, which is going to be set then in the kind of the 80s, and Mia Goth is going to be, so she's going to be in that as well. So she's going to, it's all basically all going to be connected. But basically, so exactly like what you said, it did feel like WandaVision, and it also felt like the Wizard of Oz. You know, the way she was just like speaking to the animals and like, you know.
Yeah, the scarecrow. She rode the scarecrow. She had sex with a scarecrow.
It was the weirdest thing ever.
Mad
and I was just like,
mad scene.
I was watching the movie and I was like, hang on a second, there's something not right with this person. And then the thing that kind of, I thought it was kind of like a dream or it was just all in the head. But no, the things that she was doing to the animals, like that was all real. In the sense that it was kind of like, you know, she was actually doing it. So she's doing certain things to the animals. And let's just put it this way, they don't end well for the animals. And she's got, like Deval mentioned, she's got kind of dreams of becoming an actress and she wants to kind of go out. Her husband's out in France, you know, he's fighting the Germans, you know, in World War I. So she's depressed about that. She's got an overbearing mother, a German mother, and there's just massive clash over there. But then Deval, it was just like, it reminded me of another film, one of those movies where kind of like, you know, a bit like, you know,
Psycho or something.
Yeah, it was kind of like that where the something snaps inside the person and then that is it. They just kind of like lose the plot and they start killing everyone. They start going on this rampage.
She's a serial killer, but with a pretty face and just. But you know what? There was one scene which was, for me, one of the most powerful parts of this film.
What, the ending?
And it's right at the end when she's smiling. She smiles, like the film ends and she's smiling to the screen.
Throughout the whole credits.
Smiling, for a good 3 minutes. And in this smile, you see torment. She like a tear comes down her eye. She's trying to smile in amongst the horrors and the evil and just all the mess in her head. Exactly. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. It's crazy.
Mad. Absolutely mad. So the husband comes back. I know. So the husband comes back from World War, from fighting, and he sees basically the dead bodies everywhere, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" And she kind of goes, she loses the plot. But here's the thing. So what makes her go mad in X is the fact that she sees the younger porn star, and that reminds her of the life of the kind of career or the kind of the fame that she so wanted, and then she starts going off on a mad one, and then she starts killing everyone in that movie. So it's all connected, man. Oh man, what a movie!
Crazy film. Crazy film. Really good film. It's worth a watch,
Yeah.
honestly. This,
Go
I
watch
don't know
it.
where you're gonna find it. It was in the cinema for a bit. I think it's
Mm.
on some on demand now, but it's just a weird film. This is the hidden gem. You
Yeah,
need this. This is
A24.
it's a hidden pearl. It's a
This
hidden
is the
pearl.
pearl. There
And
you go.
A24 have bags of them. Do you know what? Go watch this, honestly.
Oh man, it's like this is their thing, isn't it? It's just like this is the
Yeah,
type of movie that they would do.
yeah,
All right, folks, listen. Look, that is the end of the show. Go out and check out those movies. You got All Quiet on the Western Front, and we've got Pearl as well, which you could probably get on demand and things like that.
yeah,
We will be back for another
yep,
episode, and yeah, more movies, more TV shows, and we'll watch kind of like some other new stuff, and we'll bring them to you. So thanks for listening,
yep,
folks.
yep.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.